Welcome to Getting Started with TradeStation. This is OptionStation Pro. We're going to dedicate the next 30 minutes to talk about OptionStation Pro and all the functionality that is in TradeStation to help you trade and analyze options. Every symbol and idea that we talk about here today is for educational and demonstration purposes only. It is not a recommendation of TradeStation. Also, be aware of all the risks that are associated with online trading, especially when it comes to options which carry a high degree of risk. I'm going to share two links that go into more detail about those risks disclosures if you'd like to review them at a later time. Those links are also available on our website at www.tradestation.com. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to switch over here to my TradeStation platform. For those that are options traders, you can pull up charts, you can pull up quotes, and you can do pretty much anything on options on the TradeStation platform. So that is possible. However, we have designed OptionStation Pro, which is exclusively dedicated to trading and analyzing options. How do you launch OptionStation Pro? From within TradeStation, you come over to the trading apps, and OptionStation Pro is one of the buttons in there. So once you click on it, it'll launch the application, and it's not contained within a TradeStation workspace. It appears as its own application, allowing you to maximize the space usage on your computer's monitor. Okay? OptionStation Pro has been completely redesigned on this new update of TradeStation, and that's the one that I'm going to show right now. If you're using an older version of TradeStation, the functionality may be a little bit different, and just to reiterate, we're using the most current version, the one that has the completely redesigned OptionStation Pro. So you're going to see that at the bottom we have the tabs aligned one next to the other. That is simpler than what we had before, which OptionStation Pro was divided into separate panels, but now they're all aligned at the bottom, so it's much easier to find the information you're looking for. The tabs are in this order: options, which is where you're going to find the chains; analysis, that allows you to analyze not only theoretical options positions but also real positions; manage, which gives you a history of your orders and also any open positions you have, the ability for you to manage those orders as you go along; and then the search, though we'll take a few minutes at the end of the class to show you how you can take advantage of the search. But let's go back here to the options. At the very top of OptionStation, you're going to see that we've loaded Bank of America. That's one of the new things about OptionStation Pro, that when you first launch it, it's going to load up a symbol or the last symbol you were looking at. This is Bank of America. We see information about Bank of America right here at the top of OptionStation Pro. And if you'd like to see more data than the columns that are available here, just right-click on any of the column headers, go to Format Columns, and all the columns that you see on the left-hand side are additional fields that you can add at the top of your OptionStation Pro. The columns that are here on the right-hand side are the ones that are visible at the moment, and you can rearrange those columns if you need to do so. Okay, just wanted to point that out in case you need additional information up there. The options section has also been enhanced. Notice how the expiration is a little bit more clear. In parentheses, you see how many days are left until the expiration of that option group. Also, the expiration and the term of the option is color-coded. So the ones that are in yellow are the ones that are not monthlies. They're different terms. If you're looking for monthly options, those are the ones that appear in gray. Okay, so if you're the type of options trader that only concentrates on monthlies, we have a new way for you to differentiate a monthly option expiration as opposed to a weekly expiration. Also here on the right-hand side, we have average implied volatility and also expected move inside parentheses. But any of these expirations can be expanded by clicking on the plus here on the left-hand side. And you can see multiple expirations at the same time. All right, so let me just collapse those. Over here at the top, you have a spread drop-down, allowing you to select the type of spread you want to see. If I go here and select vertical, I can see that my options chain is grouped and paired up in different strike prices, creating verticals that I can click on and trade if I wanted to do so. Okay, let me revert back to my singles. And over here, we've added a filter, and we've combined all the filtering specifications that you can apply to an option chain. For example, how many strike prices to add, how many expirations to include, if you want to show monthly, weeklies, and quarterlies, or if you just want to see monthlies, if you want to see just the regular deliverables, or if you want to see the non-standard, you can also select those as well. And the spread width is pretty much how far away you want your strike prices to be, and this applies to verticals or any type of spreads where you can space out not only the strike price but also the expiration date. So we've added all these filtering mechanisms in one window in one place, which is a simplification and enhancement to the functionality. So if you play around with the filtering and you decide that you want to go back to standard, you have a reset button here that I clicked on before starting the class. I have no filters applied, and it just gives you whatever the defaults are, okay? And here you have a quick drop down. We did separate that in case you wanted to just increase the number of strike prices that are available in each one of the groups here. On the far right here in options, you have the ability to select what you want your click event to do. If you're familiar with OptionStation Pro, the previous version, you know that every time you click on the bid and ask of any option, it would create a theoretical position for you. If you wanted to trade it, you had to hold down the control key and then click on the bid and ask. Now that functionality has changed. Now over here on the top right, you have to choose what your click is going to do. If you want your click to trade, you leave it on trade. I think that's the default option. But if you want to analyze a trade, you select Analyze Trade, and every time you click on Bid or Ask, it's going to transfer that information over to the Analysis tab, which is the second tab at the bottom of your OptionStation Pro. Let me leave it on trade for a moment, and I'm going to show you what that functionality looks like. Let's say that I want to buy a call, a 24 strike price call for August. I click on the asking price, which is 44 cents. When I click on it, notice how the whole row for that strike price is highlighted in green, and that information is sent right here at the bottom, which is your trade bar. So as long as your click to is set to trade, every time you click on a bid or ask, it's going to send that information over here to your trade bar at the bottom. Also, you have the ability to remove that call by clicking on the X on the right-hand side. So if you want to start over, I can click on the X and then hide the trade bar. If you want to hold down your control key, you can do a multiple selection. See, if you want to choose different strike prices on this August section of OptionStation Pro, you can hold down the control key, and every leg that you click on is going to be sent to the trade bar at the bottom. So let me show you something. Let me show you an example. I click on the ask of the 23 strike price, and I click on the bid of the 24 strike price. It's going to add those two legs right here on my trade, and it recognizes it as a vertical, and I can come over here and place a trade for this vertical if I wanted to do so. So you have two options. You can click on those legs individually, or you can just let OptionStation Pro build the spread for you. Let me go ahead and remove these legs from my order bar, hide my trade bar, and I can go here to my spread and select vertical and do the 23.24, which is pretty much the same, sending that information to the bottom. I know that some traders like to build the spreads by clicking on the individual legs, and you can do that now, holding down the control key and clicking on each one of the legs you want to send to the order bar. Okay. Let me put in this trade and show you how this works. I'm going to change the order type to market just to get a fill immediately, and I'm going to come over here to click on place order. I get the confirmation window, and I'm going to say yes. Okay, the trade bar goes away. I assume that the order went through, and in fact, it did go through because I see POS, POS, and POS as part of my spread. If I want to switch this to singles, I can see the actual position. I have 5 long on the 23, and I have 5 short on the 24. So you can see the actual number contracts that you have on each one of those strike prices. If you want to take a look at your position, we have to come over here at the bottom and click on Manage. Manage is a great tab because you see a history of all the orders that have been placed in your account, not only options related, but also equity or stock related. This morning, if you were here with me in the trading platform class, we place a trade for Walmart, Bank of America, and you can see the history of orders right here at the top. And you can see they're divided by filled and you are out. All these categories are collapsible, so if you don't want to see those, just collapse them and they will not be distracting. But right here, you see how this whole OptionStation Pro is divided between today's orders and then the positions right here at the bottom. And I'm seeing my two legs for my Bank of America. The same way that you had in OptionStation Pro, the old version, you have a Spread Master here, allowing you to modify your open positions. Every time you put in a trade in OptionStation Pro, it's going to split the legs into individual so that you have full control on what you do with them. So you can trade them as individual legs. Let's say that I want to get rid of my long call. This is my long call, the green bar. I can come over here to the right, click on the ellipsis, and I can say close this position. If I do that, it'll open up the trade bar, but notice that it'll only close the actual long trade by generating a sell transaction on it. So you can split that vertical into two and trade it individually if you wanted to do so. Let me hide this. But if you want to trade it as a vertical, we give you the ability to construct the vertical right here in your real positions. How do you do that? By clicking and dragging. You click one of these legs and you drop it on top of the other, and notice how now it says vertical over here. I can open it up and it's been grouped into a vertical. So if I wanted to trade this as a vertical, I do have to do that extra step of combining my legs and then coming over here to the right, click on the ellipsis, and then if you click on close this position, it'll actually build my vertical inside my trade bar for me to trade it. And I can come over here. Let's say that I do a market order. I place the order, click on yes on the confirmation, and you can see how the position goes away. It closes my trade as a vertical. So interesting functionality, how you can manage those individual legs separately or into a vertical spread again. Let's go over here to my options tab. I'm going to come over here to, instead of trading, I'm going to go to analyze a trade. And I'm going to select from my spread drop down to load up verticals. And I'm going to load up the 23.24 vertical. I'm going to click on the asking price to go there. And once you click on a vertical, notice how it switches you over to the analysis tab because you elected, let me go back to options. Since you, here on the top right, you have selected to analyze a trade when you click, anytime you click on the bid and ask, it's going to send you to the analyze tab for you to take a look at this theoretical position. So here you have positions and simulations. So this whole tab of OptionStation Pro is divided in two. You have a graph at the top, and then you have the real positions and simulations at the bottom. Here you have the graph right here on top. In the old OptionStation Pro, you had a probability cone at the bottom that used to take a lot of space. You know, you had that yellow line at the bottom. At the top right corner, you have a way of adjusting the standard deviations for the probability calculations. Right now it's set to 1.5. So if I drop it to 1 standard deviation, this is a 68% probability that Bank of America, which is the symbol I have loaded, will be between those two prices. I believe it's 22 and change and 25 and change. So what you can do is you can just pan over it and see exactly what the price is. So this is 25.30, and if I go over here to the side, this is about 22.05 or 22.03. All right. You do have the ability to come over here to the price and click and drag so you can see more detail of the price if you wanted to increase the scale on the price by clicking and dragging. This is my, or the P&L graph of my vertical right here at the bottom. The current price is right here on the top for Bank of America. It's 23.63. So let's say that you wanted to know what would happen if Bank of America were to go down 5%. I'm going to click on add right here, and you can pin it and say, okay, if it goes down 5%, this is what my theoretical P&L would be. I would lose $280. And when you pin it to 5% lower, it'll give you a vertical visual of what that 5% would look like. Now, if you come over here to pin and you say, well, what would happen if it goes up by 5%? And if it goes to 2481, it would generate a P&L of $220 on plot number 2, which is the blue line, which is the value of the option at expiration. You can do the value of the option on the yellow line, which is right now, and it'll give you the P&L, the real-time P&L. That's what the option is value at this precise moment. So you can use this bottom section of the graph to create these theoretical scenarios. It'll give you a lot of ideas. Let me click on Add, and then you can pin it to, let's say that you want to pin it 5, -5, last, and +5. It'll give you the 3 different scenarios of what would happen to your P&L. On the right, I have the X's to remove them. At the top left, you have the ability to switch from a 2D graph to a 3D graph, giving you a different view of the same information. The 3D graph, just instead of it turns your 2-dimensional graph by adding another axis. So not only you have the prices at the bottom and the P&L on the left-hand side, but you also have the expirations right here on the screen going from the most recent up to expiration, and you can see how sensitive your P&L becomes as the option approaches expiration. Okay, so again, right here at the top, you switch from a 2D to a 3D graph. And you can add multiple time frames or time slices from now until expiration. I had it on expiration plus 2 days, but by default it's just expiration plus 1 day, and then it has whatever the value is at expiration compared to the value of the option right now. If you want to change the expiry or the date of that yellow line from today to a different date, you come over here to settings and you can play around with the slider, which you can see how it adjusts the yellow line as I move it left and right, changes the holding period. So here you can see the date as it appears on the graph. All right. Let's take a look at other information. So I have that vertical right in there. Let's go ahead and trade this. I'm going to trade it. So I'm going to click on the ellipsis on the right-hand side, trade it. I get the trade bar at the bottom. I'm going to select the order type to be market, and I'm going to place that order. All right. The order goes through, and I get filled. All right. So let me go to manage. I see my vertical right there. I can come here to my options again, and let's say that I want to do the 25-26, but on the put side. So let me go ahead and click there. And now you see that it takes me to my analysis tab. Right here I see my 25-20. This is my simulation. So let me take a look at here. Let me go back here to manage. That's my vertical right there. If I go to analysis, I can trade this other vertical. Let me trade it. I'm going to do a market order, place that order. And once it trades, if I go over here to manage, I see all individual legs. Well, let me go over here to manage, because I did say that when you get filled on a spread, it actually fills you in individual legs, and these can all be combined. So if I use the click and drag functionality, and I drag these legs all on top of each other, I'm able to create an iron condor. So even though I was able to trade them separately as 2 verticals, when I come over here to the Manage tab, I can combine all these legs and create what's called an iron condor. So I didn't have to enter it as an iron condor to trade it as an iron condor, but I'm managing 2 verticals and combining them into an iron condor. So if I come over here to the ellipses on the right-hand side, I can close this position. It sends that information to the trade bar. I'm going to select a market order to get filled right now. Place the order, click on yes to the confirmation, the order goes through, and I get filled. So it's an interesting concept that you enter with different spreads, and the Manage tab allows you to build pretty much any other spread out of your individual legs. So nice functionality. Let me take the last few minutes to show you one more functionality that I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy. It's a search. The search is like another sandbox, which allows you to see which position would provide you with the best result if your outlook were to come true. I'll give you an example. This is Bank of America trading at 23.71 as we speak. This is the current volatility, and we have strike proximity is 4 and expiration proximity is all. I'm going to come over here to options to increase the strikes. I'm going to do 20 strikes. Gives you a little bit more. I'm going to come over here to the search, and this is the strategy. Let's say that I'm bullish Bank of America. I think it's going to go up by a certain percentage, so I'm bullish, but I want to take limited risk. You can come here to this drop down and select what your strategy is and what is it that you want to trade. Is it active quiet? Is it active? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What type of risk you want to take? There's a lot of options there. You select what is your trading mode. All right, right here I leave the strike interval where it is, and my projected asset price, I think Bank of America is going to go up by 10%. So from $23, which is the current price, I think it's going to go to 26. And I'm going to close my trade. We're in the 19th of July. Let's say that we think that's going to happen in a little bit over 44 days. So I'm going to close the trade on August 31st. And the volatility, I'm going to leave it at the same place. I don't think there's going to be a change to volatility, but if you think there's going to be a change to volatility, just put the percentage there. What this is going to do is it's going to look at all the possible different options positions, and it's going to tell me which one would provide me with the best results if my outlook were to come true. I'm going to rank the results by projected profit. Right, run the search. And out of all the different options that are available in my chain, the one that would provide me with the best results is this Bank of America, January 18, 2019. This is a 2019 call. You buy 3. 3 is the strike price. Interesting. So by buying this call, that's the one that would have given you the projected profit is right here. Projected profit is $233.34 per call. Interesting concept. So I didn't have to do much, but this would have, based on my outlook, this is the one that would have provided me with the best results. I can say, okay, instead of including call strategies, let me remove the call strategies and see what I get. When you run the search again, and notice how the best one is a put vertical with strike prices of $24.25, expiring in September 2017, and you have the projected profit of $54. This is great functionality, especially for those that are just getting started with options trading and seeing what are the possibilities out there. If you're a more experienced trader, maybe the search is not a tool that you are going to find useful, but I think it's great for it to rank all these different options positions that would provide you with the best results. If something were to come through, this is only projected profit if your market outlook were to come true. All right. So we feel that OptionStation Pro has been simplified. It has been enhanced. It's easier to use. From the options chain, you have clicking functionality that it's available. Remember that you can hold down the control key. If you're on the single mode, you can hold down the control key and click on as many legs as you need, and it'll just send all those legs right here on your trade bar. You can also remove the legs from the order bar right on the trade bar if you want to remove them by just clicking there, and then click on hide on the trade bar to hide that bar. Also, OptionStation Pro, we enhanced the right click menu, so you can right click on any price and then you can buy spreads from the right click menu as well. You can do straight to the order bar. You can do an analyze also as well from the right click menu. A lot of functionality there. And Donna, I suppose you're talking about the projected profit here. It's 54.32 projected profit per contract, correct? Yeah, that's what that means exactly. Based on the pricing and whatever your outlook is and the holding period, that's the projected profit, correct? All right. Okay, perfect. Well, that's pretty much all the time we had for the OptionStation Pro presentation. But again, thank you everyone for your time. I hope that you can take advantage of all the functionality that has been implemented in OptionStation Pro, and hope to see you in a future event here at TradeStation. So thank you again. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.